Hello and
Oh,
welcome
shit.
to Skeptic Wars, brought to you by Skeptic Alert. Hi, my name is Capacitance, and I'm here to moderate this evening. We have with us Henry Sweets. We've got Politely Atheist.
Hello.
Legend MGTOW.
Hello.
Magnus
Yes, not
Deacon.
legendary.
Sorry about that.
No, there's another.
And YobyAxes.
Woof.
All right, guys, we're going to start this off with asking a basic question, and we're gonna go ahead and start with Yobi. What does MGTOW mean to you?
Well, it used to mean like somebody that just doesn't get married, like a man that just doesn't get married. But in recent times, it's gotten a lot more connotations. Like it's not just about not getting married, but you pretty much have to hate women to be a MGTOW nowadays. I know people are going to disagree with me about that, but that's what I've been seeing lately. And when you every time I see a MGTOW, anybody that says that they're a MGTOW, they pretty much, with the exception of Legend, they pretty much say all these conspiratorial things about like sex robots, artificial wombs. There's like gynocentrism. I agree that gynocentrism and hyperbole exist, but they're exaggerated when it comes to MGTOWs. I know this may be a little bit extreme as far as my definition goes, but it's like that's what I've been seeing lately.
All right. How about you, Magnus?
Oh, what does it mean to me?
Yeah.
Well, from the word go, it always meant to me a man basically circumventing conventional bullshit and just doing whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah. It used to be kind of like that for me. That's what I thought it
Well,
meant.
it used to be. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it still fucking is.
Okay, maybe.
Besides that, what's wrong with the sex robots? I'm planning on buying one and getting a program to sing the song "I Feel Fantastic."
Nothing's wrong with it.
Let's go ahead and let everybody get their intros in, though.
I know the one that you're talking about.
Okay, Legend, lay it on me.
I don't hate anyone except for morons. And it's just their thinking that I hate.
I think he's talking about me there.
No. I don't hate you, man.
So the question is what does MGTOW mean to you?
That I'm going away for just doing my thing. I'm being my own leader. I'm being my own king. And I follow the golden rule. You know, I treat other people like I want to be treated myself. That's equality right there. That's humanitarianism.
You know what? Like, when you say, like, that kind of definition of, like, just going your own way and just living life for yourself, you could, like, apply that to anybody. Like, even a married person, like, that's very vague, that definition. And I'm like, maybe there might be a little bit more substance to it than just going your own way.
Well,
we can get into that. That's for sure. And let's let Henry get his definition in also.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I don't know. It's very similar to what I've heard. I just thought it was. I took it literally as a definition: men going their own way, doing their own thing. That's the way I always thought of it.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's simple enough. I mean,
sorry, it cut out for me. I loved
it. And I kind of wish we could get Zephyrinorian's definition soon, because he's not replying back to me. Shit.
All right. Tim, did you want to get yours in also?
Yeah, well, from my research, it seems kind of like a subset of the men's right movement that was a reaction to some feminist legislation. And not just legislation, but social norms that kind of shifted things up a little bit. For instance, the Duluth model, you know, the man is always considered to be the aggressor. How how women have certain privileges that men don't have, and the whole idea of gynocentrism has kind of been around for a while. And basically, I would just look at it as just a firm reaction against feminism.
Yeah,
I guess that's the question I wanted to start with, is that when I, as a person, like, I don't identify as MGTOW, I barely understand it. I'm a person who's very neutral in this particular case. So I was looking at the differences between, or the similarities between, the MGTOW ideology and how it, in some cases, it seems that it very much correlates as a male version of feminism. And I'm wondering what you guys think of that.
Well, yeah, I think this is just more proof that eventually when something reaches the status of an ideology, everybody's mentality just disappears up their own ass.
My sentiments, exactly.
I mean, that the problem is when you start treating an idea or a movement as some form of ideology or whatever, it tends to fuck the whole idea up and take it in a direction it was never meant to go in.
Yeah.
It's a philosophy, a way of thinking.
Yeah.
So
Not
for
that
it,
complicated.
it seems that some people are looking at this as a philosophy, and it seems to me that from the other people I've seen that are debating this type of thing, it seems to be highlighting the difference between the ideology and the identity.
Ideology and philosophy. Like there's.
Well, no, say the problem is it becomes an ideology when people make that identifier their sole identity.
Correct.
Yeah,
When it
that's what
becomes
I've seen.
everything there is about them, then that's when it hits danger proportions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've noticed is a lot of guys will say, this is MGTOW. No, it's not fucking MGTOW. It's your walk. It's the way you do things, not the blanket statement.
Yeah. I believe anybody here remember Razor Blade Candy?
Vaguely.
I vaguely remember him too, because he made one video in which he stated like MGTOW is not just doing whatever you want. I think he said that there's some rules to MGTOW, and like you need to follow these rules or else you're not MGTOW.
Fuck
If
that.
you're
Boo fucking who?
Yeah, he was one of those first like radical MGTOWs, and he pretty much turned his back against the MRM all because he falsely believed that the MRM became traditionalist, quote unquote. So.
Well, it seems in that regard what it was certain specified people within both movements got a hard on for each other, and it just went to hell from there.
I don't think so. Like Paul Elam, you guys know Paul Elam, right? You know him, Legend?
You said Pauly?
Paul Elam.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of him. I
Oh,
don't think
okay. Just to recap, a couple of years ago, he made a video giving his opinion on what about what MGTOW means to him, and that's a key word there because he used it. It was his own opinion, and he just said like, if a married man wants to call himself a MGTOW, who am I to say that he's not a MGTOW? I'm just saying, like, this is just my opinion, and I just don't want to if somebody. I'm not here to put rules on anybody on what MGTOW is supposed to mean, and everybody pretty much dogpiled him and completely strawmanned his argument, saying that, oh, you're trying to bring married men into MGTOW, you're trying to hijack MGTOW to make it into your own little financial enterprise. We're gonna attack you and attack this straw man we made of your argument, and we're just gonna completely ignore what you said. And it was ridiculous. It's just like, did these guys not even listen to what Paul Elam said at all? And it turns out that many of them really haven't listened, because I asked Stardust. He actually said that he had not listened to the video that Paul Elam made, and he was just going by what other people told him about what he apparently said, which was incorrect. Everybody pretty much attacked him over something that was a complete straw man and a complete lie made about his argument. And like a lot of them, they still believe it to this day. It's ridiculous. I could pretty much show you the videos that he made. You could just judge for yourself exactly what it was that he said.
All right, Henry, I have a question for you, which is, what is the benefit of MGTOW in your opinion?
I don't know. Community. Honestly, sometimes it sounds like a lot of these the MGTOW people were hurt emotionally by women, and I don't. It just seems like I'm sorry, I'm in my own mind about something totally different. But also just standing up against some of the injustices brought about by feminists. You know.
I mean, you could pretty much say like anti-feminists in general do that. Yeah.
Anybody else want to chime in on that, or any response?
Well, the problem is, yeah, a lot of the times they are guys that were hurt by women, but then it seems that half the problem is they're just out to hurt anybody and everybody else that they can because of it. That's where it kind of got ridiculous to me.
Unfortunately.
I could see that.
What about you, Legend?
Oh, I'm just busy networking, spreading the link.
So the question to you, Legend, is what do you think the benefits are of the MGTOW philosophy?
I've gotten a lot of camaraderie and strength out of it. You know, you can't beat guide time when it's healthy, and for the most part, it has been.
I guess. I mean, camaraderie is like anybody could get camaraderie, but yeah, I know usually when you're married, your wife doesn't allow you to hang out with friends. And I've experienced that, like my married friends, my friends that are in relationships, they don't seem to have much time for me. And I know it sucks, but you could always make new friends.
I think the thing that I think about when I think about MGTOW is just the fact it's a realization that a lot of men have that they feel like they're not really wanted in society. And so they just say, fuck it, I'm just going to do my own thing. I don't need to get married. I don't need to conform to certain social roles, so I'm just going to do my own thing. I don't even need to reproduce. I don't need to do that stuff.
Okay. So,
I mean, personally, I'm just saying, you know, I am married, but I can understand the perspective. I mean, there's a lot of men who's lost their kids. You know, there's a lot of men who's been in, you know, had rape allegations that will just fuck up your life. And there's really nothing you can do to escape that kind of situation unless you avoid women.
Well, it's kind of impossible to avoid what's roughly 50% of the human population, don't you think?
No, absolutely.
That's impossible. Yeah, I mean, you could also make the argument that you have to avoid men if you don't want to be like robbed or shot.
Yeah.
Because like, what if you piss one of these guys off and they just go off the handle and they just shoot you and kill you? And statistics show that men are the ones that are most likely to kill somebody, instead of women. And you could also make that argument. You have to like avoid the male half of the population in order to avoid being robbed or whatever. So like I don't know about that argument about avoiding women altogether, because like the chances of that happening, I don't know if they're as high as MGTOWs say they are.
Well, I don't think necessarily it's an either or kind of situation. I mean, technically both can be true. Whether or not one's like more prevalent than the other, I mean, obviously, I don't know. I think your chances of getting hurt or raped or killed or robbed are a lot higher if you get attacked by a man, but it's also higher that it's going to be against a man. So, I don't know.
CDC just put out some stats that basically women are the most dangerous.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, really?
there's some context to that.
Like in what though?
Well, as far as like abuse and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. Maybe they are.
And these days, I can only speak from my own personal experience. I get in a hell of a lot more confrontations with women than I ever get with men.
Like yelling and all that.
Oh yeah, I never instigate an argument.
They're
I'll respond.
Yeah. I mean, like I've seen that a lot. Like women are always screaming about not getting their way for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's. I think it may be some kind of crazy bitch that knows that she won't get as. She would probably get a pass, the pussy pass, if she were to act all crazy in public. The same, she would get a pass that a man would not. So
well, that's because everybody's ready to make excuses for women's bad behavior, and a man's on his own.
Yeah, that I could understand.
Exactly.
That happens, and that's why.
It's no different from the difference between someone that's being cordial, they treat you with the same respect that they expect, versus a spoiled brat that just expects everything. They're self-entitled. That's the difference that we're seeing.
Yeah.
And without any consequences being reinforced.
That I could understand because I'm an MRA, so I could understand that gynocentrism and hyperbole exists. I'm just not as extreme about it as MGTOWs tend to be.
And so, Yobi, do you have a particular problem with those that identify as MGTOW? And if so, what is that problem?
It all happened back when Paul Elam made that video that I talked about earlier. Like they all went off the handle, completely misinterpreting what he said. And pretty much when the bigger name at MGTOWs like Barbarossa's, Razorblade Candy, Stardust, and Drawn Together all pretty much dogpiled him with these false accusations. That's when I pretty much decided to drop the label, mostly because I didn't want to associate myself with people that would strawman Paul Elam like this. Even though he's the one that actually has a track record of helping men. He has articles on his website of like all the help that he's brought to men. Like he's helped men in courts and such. Like there are a couple of articles on Voice for Men about that. But the MGTOWs believe that only MGTOW can save the world for whatever reason, and the MRAs are feudal, quote unquote, despite the fact that I haven't seen MGTOWs really doing anything like to help men other than like telling them not to get married and to just live life for themselves. I mean, you might disagree with me, Legend, but this is what I've been seeing with my own eyes.
Right.
Well, there's been a few instances of MGTOWs actually doing the right thing and helping out other guys, but it's few and far between from what I've seen.
I'll
need some examples because I haven't seen them myself.
But isn't that what feminists always say about men's rights activists? That they actually don't do anything, and it's always the feminists that actually get any kind of social change for men?
Yeah, the feminists say the exact same thing. I think it's not really because that they probably don't believe what they're saying. They just hate men so much that they would do anything and everything to destroy the men's rights movement. And I've been saying that with MGTOWs as well. They would pretty much lie about the accomplishments that the MRM has done in order to bolster their own movement up.
Just to follow up on your point, Tim, there is a certain likelihood, and this is just a theory, so you guys can chime in on this, is that do you think that the feminists or females that are working towards men's rights have a greater success rate because people are more willing to help at the behest of a woman than they are if a man asks for help?
Oh, absolutely.
I agree. Like, go ahead.
No, I've had feminists actually just laugh when I said that men are killing themselves at a higher rate than women, and they just think it's just pointless to even care about men dying. You know, to the point that people can unironically say that women are the greatest victims during wartime. Like, how is that possible?
It's not. Whatever men's issue that feminists listen to, they immediately have to shift it towards how it's bad for women.
Oh, come on. Now, we all know that women are the greatest victims of war, because how do you expect them to open a jar of pickles by themselves? Come on.
They have to. Cause that's terrible. Like women having to open a jar of pickles without a man.
By themselves, without a man to do it for them.
We make special pickle opening devices, though. You know.
Yeah, they made those.
Yeah, stuff like that's all available. I don't personally understand the entitlement that comes with, if I can't do something, you need to do it for me. Yeah. Fuck you. If I need something from one of you guys, I'm not going to demand it and expect it and treat you like a piece of shit if you don't do it. Just because I want you to. And then stoop to berating you and belittling you and attacking you and trying to file false charges, whatever they may be, whether it's sexual or physical, what have you, it doesn't matter. That's what a piece of shit does.
Well, the problem really with feminism is they have pretty much everything available on a silver plate, and they don't realize the kind of work and shit that actually goes into before it gets to that point.
You know, I guess you could say, like, I have at least a little bit of faith that if feminists listened more, they probably would be able to change their life views. Because have you seen the video that Cassie J made a couple of weeks ago, where she says that she listened to these men's issues, but she tried to, in her mind, she tried to make it a women's issue, and it was becoming even more and more difficult for her to justify her own thoughts. So eventually, she decided not to be a feminist anymore, because if she were a feminist, she'd have to believe that only women are the victims, not men. And
that leads me pretty well into my next question here, which would be that there is a supposition that feminism exists because of something that is lacking in men and in the way that men treat women. Would that not necessarily mean that the opposite is also true? And a second part of that question would be that, do you think that if people were really able to understand how they don't understand the specifics of the other side, that they shouldn't really be making the argument?
I think the missing ingredient is the fact that they just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you have to give a fuck first, then you'll go from there.
You have to understand how 1 + 1 = 2.
2 + 2 = 4. not 5 like the guy from 1984 said.
Do you guys have you guys ever researched feminist epistemology?
Like
Not really, but I understand
Yeah.
that it came from the libs.
Well,
So-
it sounds like a good shot of penicillin would fix that problem.
Exactly. And if only it were that easy.
No, the reason why women almost universally reject men's rights claims is because their epistemology, which, you know, to all the laymen listening, all two of you, it's the study of knowledge that basically feminists basically think that any kind of knowledge that men come up with is almost universally wrong because women didn't come up with that same knowledge. So they question pretty much every fucking thing that's coming out. That's why you hear about people questioning science. You hear people questioning pretty much everything you could ever think of. So when they hear that men are victims of rape and domestic violence, they just think it's fucking horseshit.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me. Yeah.
That's what I've been hearing, even just the past couple days within a whole bunch of family law reform comments.
Yeah.
That they don't understand. They have it dead set in their mind that it's only them that are getting injured and hurt and raped and all this horrible crap. No. And even if the numbers don't even matter. The numbers only matter to the effect of where you need to put most of your focus. It doesn't mean, if I were to say something like men are biased in the family courts, the immediate response is, oh, women get hurt too in the courts. You know, my baby's daddy got custody, blah, 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 blah. No. You're splitting hairs like a moron. You're not looking at the focus. What's actually important is people are getting fucked over. Who cares who it is? The point is, it's hurting the kids and it's destroying people's lives. You've got all these different things going on, like tremendous suicide rates that can be prevented. When you go ahead and split hairs like that, you are right then and there choosing, whether you understand it or not, you are choosing to add to the problem. You are making it worse.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing, actually. I remember like talking about how men commit suicide more and women feminists would just pretty much come to me and say, well, women attempt suicide more. And they pretty much make it into a contest as to who's more of a victim than who.
Yeah, and they're refusing to look at facts.
It sucks. I know.
That's the problem.
And this is why I know people think that it's a waste of time, but I think it's important. But we got to continue to argue with feminists and continue to not just mock them, but show them the ropes, show them statistics, do whatever it takes to make them listen. And it may be futile, but we got to keep at it because Cassie J actually listened, and now she's no longer a feminist. And she actually helped us out. And I have at least a little bit of faith that at least maybe like 40% of feminists would actually change their viewpoints if we just continued with our mission. But I haven't been seeing that lately. Like, I haven't been seeing people argue with feminists that much anymore.
I don't know if you guys are atheist, but I obviously am, you know, with that fucking name.
And politely so.
Yeah, I try, except when I'm on stream for some reason. So there was a situation that happened with atheism. You know, I think a few of you know that it kind of branched off into feminism, and you know, so we have guys like Steve Shives and, you know, Lacey Green went off, and then eventually she came back, oddly enough.
And Rebecca Watson.
Oh, yeah. And basically, I'm starting to see similar patterns with MGTOW a little bit. I kind of wanted to get into the topics of some of the more extreme MGTOW positions. you know,
Right.
some things that we could all agree are a little out there.
That's where Zeph would fit in quite well.
I mean, I could probably, well,
I think that's kind of the direction that he's kind of gone in, is pointing out the extremists.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, I think.
I mean, he's also made a video against Turd Flinging Monkey too, and he's quote unquote not an extremist, according to some people. I think he is, but all right.
I don't know enough to talk shit about him or say anything.
We wouldn't want to characterize anybody without them being here to defend themselves. But Tim, what do you think that the more extreme points are?
I would say the extreme gynocentrism that a few people believe, that women are not in fact actually attracted to men. They are actually like weak, stupid creatures that absolutely need to enter into a symbiotic relationship with men, and that's the only way that they can effectively function in society. And I believe, I don't think it's specifically Sandman. I've heard Angry MGTOW say that before. But basically, it's just that women are basically useless and need men to do everything in their lives.
Wait a minute. This stream is about MGTOW. It's not about Islam.
No, unfortunately,
actually,
that is MGTOW for you.
That is
These days.
MGTOW. I think Turd Flinging Monkey probably said that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised. And the worst part is that nobody really calls him out. Like, with the exception of me and Zephanian, we call him out, but nobody else does. So it kind of sucks that that's the case. But like, I've been seeing an increase of this extremism in MGTOW, and Marcus, Groundwork for the Metaphysics of MGTOW, he actually pointed out too. I don't like him either. He seems to like try to rationalize, quote unquote, how it's okay to generalize all women like that, and he actually said that even he is starting to see like people just on YouTube using the MGTOW label just to attack women without remorse. And Angry MGTOW was one of the first to do it, and there are more and more MGTOWs doing it now.
It kind of makes you think though, and I don't like to stereotype anybody, but my first assumption is when I hear the term going monk, it almost just sounds like a guy who just can't get laid and is just accepting that position in his life.
Sounds like Angry MGTOW.
Well, they used to call that TFL.
It's the same thing. MGTOW monk and TFL are the same thing. And actually, I think Turd Flinging Monkey actually said that he's going MGTOW monk too.
So what about me then?
I don't know about you. Are you going monk?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I mean, you don't think that women are completely useless, do you?
I think we all set our own value.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, it holds true for men too.
Yeah.
You are valuable as you make yourself. If you're not productive, then you're a piece of shit, right?
You are useless. Like
you are, yeah.
Like I see Turd Flinging Monkey and Angry MGTOW making videos every single day at every hour. Do they even have jobs? I don't think so. So are they?
Let me ask you about your MGTOW monk, which I guess for those that don't know is that you've decided that you've gone such your own way that women are no longer a necessity for you at all, or you no longer wish to have any relationship with one.
You don't have sex with them.
So the
Well,
question,
it's not a requirement.
yeah. So the question I have for you is that is this a subject of a your belief system, or your what you believe to be true about women? Is that something that overrides a biological imperative, or is this more along the lines of you're just making a conscious effort to not put yourself at any type of risk to a woman?
Well, in any case, unless it's extremely extreme, I don't know the right way to put it. I don't know of a situation where your biology would dictate over your common sense or your brain. Your intelligence decides. You consciously decide what you're going to do and what you're going to do. You know, you got to weigh your pros and cons. That's basically part of going MGTOW anyway, right there, right? So it's a risk evaluation. Is it worth it to put any time or a significant amount of time towards a woman?
Oh, well, shit.
In my case, no. I try to keep that as minimal as possible.
Well, you keep in mind, though, for a while there, they were shitting all over MGTOW guys that were doing pickup artistry just for fun.
Exactly.
I mean,
I don't
they were
see
treating
pickup
them
art
like
as MGTOW because it's a perspective that you're after. They're after the game. They're after getting laid. I don't give a fuck about getting laid. Most women can't even screw me right anyway. They suck.
I would disagree.
All right. So the question that I asked
he does
earlier,
have a
Well, I
point.
said most.
the question I asked
Well,
earlier
yeah, he's got a
wasn't
point.
necessarily
That's,
stating that there was there was some sort of an override, but my question is are the MGTOW monks those that would still have a basic attraction to women on a normal basis, or is there, because there's assertions that I was reading about that basically MGTOWs are just gay?
Or asexual.
No, that's a shaming tactic. It's just really sad. Oh, you're in mama's basement or whatever, you know. No, I mean,
Well, the
I
only
know
thing to
quite a
get
few-
the,
I know
hold up,
quite a few monks that are attracted to women, and they would if it was a safe scenario. But they've decided that there's way too much risk involved, especially with as much hardship as they've gone through. I mean, some guys have gone to jail for a number of years. There's shit that they can't get back.
well, yeah, but the problem is, though, you were bringing up the shaming tactic of what are you, gay? And it's like, well, if the guy's actually gay, where's the shame come in? Because he'd probably just look at you and be like, yeah, so what?
Right.
And that shaming tactic only actually works on people who are like, I ain't no faggot.
Yeah, it's a presupposition.
That's why I keep using that term faggot against like the radical MGTOWs, because they get so triggered, it's ridiculous. Like you've seen how Traversable Cuck keeps talking about how he's not a faggot. I think it's projection. He keeps talking about how gays shouldn't be in MGTOW, and then something to like people keep saying that he's projecting, and I kind of see it myself.
Well, the problem is, for the longest time, they took to calling people pedophiles, and it's like, okay, is that projection or what the fuck?
Yes.
I had a talk with Trav about that.
What did he say?
Yeah, I let him know my concerns about it, and I told him that I thought he was projecting, you know, or at least making assumptions based on a preconception that is not valid. In the past, yes, it was noted in the past, people with an affinity for dressing up as animals or whatever, you know, some pedophiles did that. Yeah. But that's not like a majority case. So it's pretty pathetic to try to do that.
This is a whole thing where anybody who liked any kind of anime was a pedophile, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was a whole shit show.
Yeah,
but that's kind of on par with saying, oh, you must be gay if you're MGTOW.
I don't know.
It's a severe exaggeration, wouldn't you say?
I don't.
All right, let me ask another question that should hopefully spark some self-reflection here. which is that we all know that, as all of us, at least here in this particular chat, know about the myth of the wage gap. Is there anything that is on the MRA or MGTOW side that would be the equivalent?
Sorry, I cut out.
How do you mean?
So I'm just curious if there's anything, any conception that is about the MGTOW community or MRAs in general that are strongly held beliefs that are probably wrong.
I can only speak for myself.
I could. Go ahead.
From my understanding, it's just all a farce, and from the information I've been able to find, it's actually kind of the reverse. Women in general tend to get paid more within the same scope of work. But the whole premise of the wage gap is based off of employment as a whole and not looking at engineer versus engineer. You know what I mean?
Right. And all of us here understand that the wage gap is a myth.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, are there things that that feminists would launch towards the MRAs or the MGTOW community and say that something that the MGTOW community believes is totally false?
Not that I'm aware of.
Shit, guys, I got a boogie. That other group I'm in started a show.
Oh man!
Thanks, Magnus.
And Zephaniah just came in.
I'm so freaking sorry. I got caught up in some crap, so I basically woke up, had to take a shit, got people calling me on Discord and on Google Hangouts while I was taking a shit. And I'm like, hey guys, I'm taking a shit. And then I got dragged into some other shit in the skeptic community, some other drama that's going on. So.
I mean,
I'll see you guys
aliens.
later.
Oh, damn
See you,
it.
Magnus.
Hey, Magnus.
Later.
Take it easy. We love taking shits. You know, it's like a pastime for us. You know how some humans love to sleep all day? You know, we just love to take shits. And
I'm a dog. I take shits all the time.
Aliens take shits. That's why all the anal probes.
Exactly. We're obsessed with asses. We're just completely obsessed. Our entire basis of our technology has been based off of ass science.
I think I asked you in our podcast, but hey, Zeph, what do you think about what's the definition of MGTOW to you?
The definition of MGTOW to me is men going their own way, which is go your own way, whatever the hell you want to do, right? So if that means if that means getting married, then by all means get married. Be cautious when you do it. I personally don't like marriage and will never fucking ever get married again. But if you found something and you think with your own best judgment that you found something, then who the fuck is anybody else to say that you're wrong?
That's the exact same.
So you go and do you, and I'll do me, and let's be MGTOW without making some fucking doctrine and shit like feminism where we all got to follow this and talking safe space. I'm sorry. I just can't stand the safe space talk, the shaming language bullshit, and the crybaby, incel nonsense. I can't stand that. I want men to be happy. Go out, get laid. Your whole life's not going to fucking get destroyed. If you don't want to and you want to fuck robots, by all means, if that makes you happy, go do it. At least that's the position that I come from. It's a really summarized. It's summarized, but that's what it is.
Okay. What else is there?
Yeah, I'm 50 minutes into it, so we got to recover a few things anyway.
Anal sex
I'm
is gay.
so sorry, guys. Anal sex is great. It really is.
It actually
They say
is.
it's gay.
When I give it to the girl, not receive it.
Yeah. I'm a proud owner of a virgin asshole. So.
Me too.
So where do you fall on the spectrum as far as pro or against? I mean, it sounds like you are pro MGTOW or very MGTOW.
I got nothing against MGTOW, honestly. I'm against mostly like the shit that you start hearing in the monk community. I was recently clued into, what's been like, as far as the MGTOW monks and not all, hashtag not all MGTOW monks, but let's put it this way, like I disagree with a lot of assertions that Sandman makes, as far as when it comes down to the pseudo-scientific hypergamy, which they took away from the anthropocentric hypergamy and turned it into a female-centric hypergamy, which we can dive into that. Then, of course, TFL, don't dislike all of his content, but then when he just recently made a video where he states that
TFM.
TFM, sorry, yeah, TFL, shit.
TEM.
Turd eating
Yeah.
But Turd Eating Monkey made, and if he's listening to this, my God, dude, take a fucking joke, seriously.
He can't.
Yeah, he can't. He takes it way too serious. And then he responds, he makes video responses, and then he pretends he doesn't know who he made the video response to. He's like, I watched him on one of his gaming streams, and he was like, oh, you know, some alien guy, you know, on YouTube. I'm like, motherfucker, you made a 30-minit video. Like, you made a response video, like, and you're pretending now like you don't even remember who I am. But anyway, that's fine. He asserted recently that hypergamy is tied to, what do you call that? A mother's instinct. What is it? Maternal instinct or maternal bond. And I thought that was funny because maternal bond has everything to do with keeping the child safe and protected. But he's somehow taking that and expanding that idea to a woman will suck anybody's dick to keep the child safe, right? And on some level, that may be true. Like if you got some loser guy who can't hold a fucking job, or, you know, the bills are not being paid, and if she really is like that type of woman, she may actually do that. I have no doubt in my mind she would. But there is also situations that I have seen around me too, where women stick by some of the biggest fucking losers in life, like for their entire lives, living out of cars and shit, and sticking with the same guy. And you're just wondering, like, what the fuck? So, you know, I think honestly that, you know, the behavior of modern men and women, and, you know, if MGTOW want to hear the women part of it, is an environmental and sociological issue that we have in our society, as our society is fucking crumbling, happening. And yeah, there's countries where it's happening worse over in different countries, and there's other countries where there's no problems. Well, not no problems, but, you know, lesser problems than what we have here. You know, basically, all humans are hypergamous, men and women. We can all act like asshats. Right. So it's not about feminism ideas or anything like that. And it's not about defending women. This is about, hey, everybody, hey, I'm a MGTOW, and I'm a MGTOW because I don't fucking trust you. I'm just going to be honest. There is no scientific basis for my distrust. I know that it's my own distrust. I don't feel like taking the risk again. I don't feel like putting myself through that bullshit. And that should be reason enough. That alone is reason enough. There doesn't need to be some sort of bullshit philosophy behind it when all you have to say is, I personally don't want to take the risk. Yeah, that's a foundation strong enough all on its own. I don't know why they have to create this pseudo philosophy when it doesn't really even need to be one.
Well,
you know,
it's reactionary, man. Like, I mean, I think there actually is solid reasons why people do go MGTOW. I mean, there's reasons. Yeah. I mean, it's just we didn't really assign them a name in the past. It was the same reason why men would become actual monks and priests in the past. They were just, you know, they couldn't get laid, or they didn't really want to be married, or they didn't do these kind of things, and so they would just go on a spiritual route. And nowadays, not a lot of people are actually religious, and so they take a secular spiritual route, you know.
As Cap put it, just bachelorhood.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with bachelorhood. No, I have to stress that whenever I talk to these stupid MGTOWs. I don't have a problem with them deciding not to get married or anything, or involving themselves with women, but it's when you try to push that onto others, then there's a problem.
I guess that's my next question here, which is, it would be the same question I have for both feminists, the hardcore feminists, and the hardcore MGTOW. Why first of all, the label distinction, and then secondly, why the sort of, you know, the televangelist version of spreading the word?
Oh, I have the answer for that one. MGTOW, or many MGTOW talk about, self-validation, right? Which is true. I believe you could self-validate. You can validate oneself, or you can validate yourself, and not seek a woman's approval for everything, right? You don't need a woman to tell you that you're a man. You don't need a woman to tell you that you're doing a good job or anything like that. You can tell yourself that. The problem here is the ones that are calling other people simps and manginas are usually the ones acting like the biggest manginas and simps themselves.
Right.
Basically creating a group and having a group to be a part of is the biggest form of validation seeking that you could ever, they've replaced simping out and seeking validation from women to doing that from other men. It's like, okay, so we there's one thing like where you say you distrust women, which honestly I do. I not every woman. I'm one of those to say, there are NAWALs out there, but I just don't feel like fucking looking for them. And if they fall in my lap, then great.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm not going to go to the extent of trying to say that there's some genetic and biological reason why every woman is always going to fail you. And man, it doesn't matter if it went good for 30 years. She's eventually going to cut your dick off and then steal your wallet. And it's like, come on, that's ridiculous. Let's put it this way. If
Maybe
even if
off.
right, like even if she was going to do that at some point, then imagine that. You get free sex for 30 fucking years. You know it's coming, right? Because you've been red-pilled. You know she's going to try to chop your dick off at some point, so you can expect it. Then you basically get free sex for 30 years. You get a wonderful life. You get to be told you're loved and all this other shit for 30 years. Then you can catch her in the act when she does it, get rid of her, and then move on to the next one. Why? You know what I mean? Like
don't you?
Like,
not risking my cock. There's no way in
I
hell
don't like
I'm
that
gonna get
proposition.
treated like an
I think
equal.
I would do
Fuck
that.
metaphorically,
I have never been treated like I was actually appreciated or even remotely close to being an equal in either of my marriages. Never.
Yeah, my marriage was the same way. My first marriage, I was treated like shit. I mean, you're talking like I was super simp, man. I had the apron on. I was doing the whole.
You were too nice
barbecue.
guy.
Oh,
I
shit.
was the nice nerdy guy.
There's your problem. Yeah.
And it was only when that I decided to change aspects of my personality to where now I've actually have women in my life that are not seeking marriage. They're not looking for any formal commitment because they have the same mentality that I do, which is I'm going to go my own way, you go your own way, this is my money, that's your money, let's meet up, fuck, hug each other, be each other's emotional champion when we need it, and that's it.
That was my next question, is there something to be said for selection? As an example, I have a brother who apparently is not happy unless he's miserable and selects the most terrible women ever. And I think that there has got to be some type of there's got to be something there that points people towards bad choices.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
it
it does. It comes down to, and I'm not trying to play amateur. I don't want to play too much of an amateur psychologist, but when you grow up in a fucked up household like I did, and you spent a lot of time talking to counselors and things like that, trying to get over your crazy ass family, you tend to start picking up on these patterns. But it usually comes from a issue with the parents or issue with the mother. If you had issues with your mother, then you're gonna tend to create that whole personality type that's gonna seek out female validation. And it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. I mean, just look at Red Pill Ghost, for instance. I started catching up on all of that.
Yep.
He's yeah. Yobi gave me
I
a
watched
playlist.
his commentary. I thought it was freaking hilarious. I love the guy too.
I filled him in.
Yeah, he's all like, there was like one point when he was on the stream with them, and they were like, yeah, just go or whatever. He's like, oh, okay, fine, I'll go. Like he wants them to feel bad for him. He wants them to notice that he's leaving. And
he's that guy that's at the door that's always saying, "I'm leaving now. You better stop me." That's
right.
him.
So,
right. And women do that. That's the thing. I've noticed that women do that, And
Not
I
all
usually
women though.
not all. Some
all.
of the
Not all.
some of the ones that I've run into. Some of them.
Feminists, particularly.
Or just dumb ones, like, you know, because you got smart people and dumb people, like,
Yeah.
you know, on both sides of the spectrum. But like, there was one girl that I knew before, and she did the whole she's gonna walk out and leave, and I just like, okay, do you want me to help you pack? And she's like, what? And I'm like, well, you said you're leaving, so I'm just wanting to know if you want me to help you pack. I'll drive you wherever you want to go. And she was pissed because I wasn't trying to stop her. I wasn't
You weren't
trying
giving
to,
a fuck. She was pissed because you didn't give a fuck if she
By
left.
the way,
Right.
Optimus is going to pop in for a little bit.
Optimus
Okay.
Christ, I love that guy.
Everybody does.
Yeah, he's another good MGTOW.
I will never lick his asshole.
Auto.
That's not going to happen.
Autobots,
I convince you of it.
lick my ass.
Is his name still spelled wrong on his Twitter banner?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Damn. We gotta end this in 5 minutes.
Oh shit! I'm sorry, guys.
Well, no, we
I
were
came
late.
in.
We were late 10 minutes, so we'll let it go for another 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good until 6:20, so we can do this.
Okay.
What time zone are you guys operating on? Because I think that's what kind of fucked me up too.
We're mountain right now.
We're all over the place. I'm Pacific. Henry's
I'm
Pacific.
I'm on the East Coast.
Yeah, I'm Pacific as well.
Yeah,
Let
so we're good for another 10 minutes here.
Hey.
Jesus Christ.
Optimus.
Hello, Optimus. Give yourself an introduction here, seeing everybody else had the opportunity to do so.
Oh, he will.
Eventually.
I'll do it for him.
Lick my ass.
Autobots, lick my ass.
I love it.
What is up, motherfuckers?
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
So
Sorry you
tell us,
missed most of it.
so tell us what MGTOW means to you, Optimus.
To me, at the end of the day, I'm doing what's best for me. If I get a greater net return than the effort that I'm putting in, it's a good thing.
If not, no.
If not, I don't do it.
Right.
Good luck trying to convince me otherwise, because I'm doing what's best for me, not anyone else.
You just locked yourself into a corner. Now we have to work together.
See, your versions of MGTOW, that's what I wish MGTOW was,
It's-
or at least the sane version of MGTOW was. But when I listen to
see, there's not really a problem going monk either. What there is a problem with is monks telling other people they should be monks.
that's what turd flinging monkey does.
Yeah,
And
it's the
so-
whole. It's the whole. Hey, let's let humanity die off because pussy's bad for you. We found this out. This is like some secret knowledge that the previous people in history have not figured out yet. Humanity was actually meant to just die off, through masturbation. And
Shit, my hand does a better job anyway.
Well, I know, right? But and it's far cheaper. And it was funny. Like they just came out with a sex robot, which is like $50,000. Talk about resource
We'll
loss.
see.
I mean, that's
We'll see,
a lot of
yes.
money.
But how many prostitutes did you get for $50,000?
Exactly.
How many sausages?
It depends on how much you want them to leave quickly. So the point is, roses are red, violets are blue. Whiskey for one is better than dinner for two,
Yeah, right.
or cheaper than dinner for two.
Yeah,
You know what? I say prostitution should be legal everywhere. Then maybe these MGTOWs won't be so mad. Because
Maybe that's where my perspective comes from, because everybody knows I live in Las Vegas. That's doxed information already, right?
oh shit.
But
Oh,
it's pretty
shit.
it's pretty much legal here, right? Like if it really came down to it, you have access to it if you want it. And and not only that, like there's actual laws out here where these people have to keep themselves clean. They have to go to the health department and constantly get checkups. You're talking about the types of girls that will insist on using condoms and all kinds of shit, right? and then you got the bunny ranch and all that stuff. So like, you know, these guys that are incels and saying they can't get laid or whatever, you know what? It's pussy is really cheap out here.
I'll tell you
because they make up for it by the number.
It's the same thing here too. Like prostitution isn't legal here, but there are other means on how you could get a girl here and where I live.
Personally, I wouldn't risk it.
Yeah.
like I'm doing what's best for me, and right now my physical health is called into question when people sell themselves around here. So.
Oh yeah, like I understand that, because like I personally don't dive into the prostitute scene over here because I got pussy on tap. I have it for free, so I don't need to pay any money for it. I mean, I'd rather buy video games and fucking computer parts with my money.
Yep, I agree. And this stream has been brought to you by Tenga Eggs.
Oh no!
For when proving rape culture wrong has never been more fun. Tenga Eggs, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, Optimus Christ. Enough with that.
Optimus
running joke.
Yeah, what's up?
You know, there's gonna be somebody that's gonna watch this and they're gonna be like, "Where the fuck are these Tenga eggs?" They're gonna be on Newegg. They're gonna be on Amazon looking for the goddamn things.
And maybe the MGTOWs could use some of those. They probably.
You know, well, I would get one. Shit.
They're gonna spurg out in the comments like, "You guys fucking
my man-to-hand relationship even more." Know what I'm saying?
All right, so while we got about 5 minutes here to wrap up, I think that it would be good for everyone to, first of all, you know, state their position and basically give themselves an outro. Say who you are, how to get a hold of you, because there was a bunch of interesting conversations that happened over the course of the last hour and 15 minutes or so. So unfortunately, Optimus and Zephorian were a little bit late, but I thought it went pretty well.
Sorry, I was too busy fapping.
Me too.
You guys are excused, of course, for fapping.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm notorious. Just so you guys know, everybody, to the entire internet, please don't take it as any offense or anything like that. I am notoriously bad at answering messages and getting onto streams on time. So
if you are offended, you deserve it.
Unfortunately, I know firsthand that Zeph is indeed notoriously bad at answering messages. Like he won't respond to any of my messages on Discord. Shit.
Well, so I usually get back to him, but it's like a day later, and
yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, that whole thing, you know, where I was trapped in a fucking well and trying to get help. Yeah, that was yesterday, dude. Yeah, so, and I'm like, "Are you out?" He goes, "Yeah." Okay, well, I'm glad you got rescued. So, sorry about that.
Oh well.
So don't rely on me if you're trapped in a fucking well. Don't Discord message me or Twitter message. Call the cops, because
I'll call
you're pretty
Legend
much
instead.
dead at that point.
Let's do some outros. Let's probably start with Yobi first, and then we'll move down.
All right, Yobi, tell us how to get hold of you.
You could get a hold of me on Twitter by @Twitter YobyAxes YobyAxes, and you can find me on YouTube YobyAxes The Anti-MGTOW. I do like a podcast mostly because I'm not Zephorian. I don't have like the skills to make good videos.
You know, I don't know whether to hate you or pet the top of your head or sign.
Both. Both, because you could hate me all you want because you're a MGTOW and I hate MGTOWs. But I'm a dog, so I'm lovable.
All right, Zeph, you're next.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, guys, I am that asshole alien, Zephonorian. So you can find me as Zephonorian on YouTube and also as Zephonorian or @Zephonorian on Twitter. And if you want to see some interesting shit posts or whatever, sometimes I don't always do MGTOW stuff. Sometimes I just like to make funny little videos like the one I just put out. So, or at least I think I'm funny. I don't know, but that's my plug.
All right, Legend.
Hey, I'm @GuyServing on Twitter, Legend MGTOW on YouTube. I haven't made a video in probably like 2 months because I put other focuses on, like hanging out with other guys, like on you guys' channel right now.
Being in the Army?
I'm ex-Navy.
Oh, you're ex thing. Okay.
All right. Optimus?
And
oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Go for it, Legend.
They'll go ahead and put my Shopify stores in the description link, if you would.
Will do.
I've got Shopify. I've got Amazon. My Amazon is grunt style, and it's got a boys section in there too for superheroes like capes and shit. And oh, don't forget, please add the GoFundMe for Disgusted Dads.
Will do.
All right, Optimus, you're up.
All right, so I usually do gaming streams and videos. I've recently begun doing creepypasta videos. Optimus Christ on YouTube. That's pretty much where you want to contact me at, because every other way to contact me is in the descriptions there. Optimus Christ 66 on Twitter. And remember, Optimus Christ, because Jesus can't turn into a truck.
Autobots,
Lick my ass.
Henry. Henry, you're up.
Oh, hey, what's up? Yo, I'm Henry Sweets. Skeptic Wars.
All right.
Oh, look, staying free is cute in the chat.
Oh, and
what's
Tim.
he saying? What, let me see. I want to see. What did he say?
How are
What did he
those
say?
soft shoes?
What did he say?
Oh, can I get a link to the live stream? I have no idea.
Yeah, I want to see. Let me get it.
He says, and I quote, Optimus Christ is a fucking simp-ass pussy beggar.
You know what that means?
He's probably
When he says that, he's really trying to say that he loves you, because I noticed that that's how he talks. It's always like, it's through insult, but when it's an insult like that, when he uses the word pussy or something like that, he's really trying to convey how much he cares, you know. So
Well, either that or it's self-projection.
You should have brought him in the chat here. I would.
Yeah,
I wanted
it was
to. I
getting
want to
too
hear him
late.
yell at me.
it
All
would
right,
be
we
a
got
lot
a
of yelling.
to
It wouldn't
stay on time here. So Tim, you're up.
Yeah.
All right, politely atheist, but fuck all that shit. Subscribe and like this video. It is called Skeptic Alert, and it's a monthly series called Skeptic Wars.
Henry, that wasn't very nice at all.
Did you mute him?
Yeah, he muted him. All right, go ahead, Tim. Sorry about that.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm getting all goddamn excited. So this is Skeptic Wars. Subscribe to Skeptic Alert, and we'll see you next month for the next fucking battle.
And I am Hate Capacitor on Twitter. I make videos about ridiculous stuff. I don't really have any political axes to grind, so it's usually just fun. So be sure to check me out. And thanks for watching Skeptic Alert and Skeptic Wars. So like and subscribe where you can, and we will see you next time.
Later.
Bye guys.